that session brought to you by Accent Nominees. My name is Tomi Ogunleye, and the topic we'll be treating today is effect of government regulations to business on business management and the impact on your business. We would agree that we have freedom to establish our own enterprise, whether as individuals, private bodies, or groups. So what I'm trying to say is that anybody can actually start or establish a business, but there are certain laws that regulate business management. Okay, before establishing your business, there are certain laws that actually regulate that, and after you've established your business, there are also laws that regulate that. So the topic for today will majorly focus on effect of government regulations on business management. The last topic we spoke about was legal framework every entrepreneur or business owner should know in 2023, and then both topics are actually intertwined. So I'll be discussing the regulations on business and how it can impact your business as a business owner. What I'm trying to say is that even after establishing your business, there are certain laws that regulate how things are done, the procedures, what you should do, and even gives you the standard of what you should do. So government makes sure that through various laws and agencies that it is supervised, they regulate this business enterprise and how they operate in Nigeria. The purpose of this law is to ensure that there is ease of doing business for entrepreneurs, business owners, investors, if possible, consumers and customers. That's where the FCCPC comes in. They protect the interest of consumers and customers. Section 16 sub 3 of the 1999 Constitution goes further to provide for a provision that will set up a body that will be set up by a National Assembly, whereby they review ownership and control of business enterprise in Nigeria. So meaning that it is obvious from the provision that that the government role is to protect the interest of business and enterprise and how it operates in Nigeria. So what I'm basically saying is that the regulation, most times you complain that the regulations are too much, you can't obey all of it and everything. You can't obey all of the regulations, but the regulations actually it has an impact on our business. It has an impact even on the government. So that's one of the reasons why we need to abide with these regulations. And after registering your business, the regulation doesn't end. We have to continue abiding with these regulations. It's really, really important, and it impacts our business. It even gives us credibility. Just imagine you registering your business and after registering your business, you forget to do the normal thing you should do, which is filing your annual returns. Don't just register your business and forget that and think that's all. You need to file annual returns, do anything you want to do regarding business. There are some procedures, some appropriate bodies you need to go to. So in the previous session, I spoke about some government regulations, which I've been talking about. You need to, if you've not watched the previous session, please do watch the previous session, because both topics are actually intertwined. The previous session I focused on the legal framework, which are the laws you should know as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, even as an investor, even as a consumer, because I said that's where the FCCPC comes in, because the FCCPC comes in and they protect the consumer and the customer interest. So we need to know these laws in 2023, and then of course we've all written our resolution, and then we want to start afresh and everything. If you want to start afresh, let's start afresh by obeying these laws, because they are actually important and then they impact our business. Imagine after registering your business and you think your business is active, and going to the CAC portal and finding out that your business is actually not active. Then there's penalty if you don't do these things. These regulations, you have to abide by them. If not, you'll be paying a particular penalty. So some of the things required of a business owner is registration of business and company. And I already said that. But they're saying that after you started your business, 28 days after commencement of business activity, you need to register your business. Don't just start. Most people start business 1 year, 2 years, and they are not registered. In fact, they are not recognized. Please do not do that. You need to go to the appropriate body, which is the CAC. I said that in my last session. The CAC, that's the body for regulating businesses, companies, and incorporated trustees. So 28 days after commencement of business activity, you need to incorporate your business. That section, most business owners or entrepreneurs just start, I already said this, they already start business without registering. You need to register with the appropriate bodies. The first reason why most companies incorporate is because of corporate personality. I'm sure you're wondering what's corporate personality. Under the Nigerian law, there's a fiction where a company is deemed to be seen as a separate entity from the individuals who created it. Let me come again so you can understand. Basically, what I'm saying is that most people incorporate their company because their company will be seen as a separate entity, like as a legal personality, corporate personality under the law, meaning that the company will be seen as an artificial body. So when people are trying to sue, they won't be suing you, but they'll be suing your company instead. Meaning that your company can sue and be sued. If the directors of the company will not be sued, but the company itself. So let's take for instance, if the company owes a bank 10 million naira, it is the company that owes the bank that will pay, and not the directors. So basically, the company can sue and be sued. That's one of the impact of registering your business with the appropriate body, like being recognized with the appropriate body. You can sue and be sued. And then let's go to taxes. Taxes is the second thing you need to know. Of course, taxes are levied on you as a business owner, as a company, and everything. So taxes are always levied on you. At least you need to pay your tax. They are levied by some of them are levied by the federal government or the state government. The tax revenue actually helps to provide benefits such as schools, roads, healthcare for poor and elderly. Taxation of business or enterprise, it creates additional benefits for the government, and it propels growth and development for small medium enterprises and promotes good governance. So the tax actually works for the government and works for we the people. It creates road, healthcare for the poor and elderly, police and fire protection, finance for defense forces, of course. Then the taxes actually keeps the nation running and provide for its people. So you need to pay your tax. If you've not been doing that, please and please, I'm pleading, kindly pay your tax. Do the necessary thing. In fact, your company or your business will have a credibility to it. People will trust you. Most times when people are trying to look you up, people want to do business with you, and or any transaction with you, and they're trying to look you up. Imagine, or the misfortune, or how will I put it, people checking up and are saying that your company is inactive. You look like a liar, as if like they don't trust you. If you are inactive, it means basically you are not how will I put it, if you are inactive, basically it means that you are not following the due process and the right protocol. And then let's go back. If you register, if you actually comply with the registration with the CAC, getting your tax identification number goes back to the CAC. So most of these laws actually are intertwined. If you don't obey the first one, then you actually be disobeying the second one. So imagine you not registering, and then how do you want to get a tax identification number? Like, you have to do these things. And then don't let us forget, I said resolution. Please, let's actually abide by these things if we want to actually fulfill that goal we planned for our business or our company or our startup. Legal compliance actually makes running of a business easier. I just take that. Then the third one on the list is statutory licenses and permits. This one is also important. Licenses, it's just like a doctor not having a license, but you want to treat a patient. How is that possible? In fact, I'm not sure you're able to treat patients. So most times, your business needs license or permit just before you can establish your business. most government, the government requires business in certain sectors of the economy to obtain permits, licenses or certifications to enable them to provide goods and services in such sectors. So imagine you produce chemicals, produce medicine, you don't have a license but you want to do that. Basically you're not actually good, you're not abiding with the regulations, and then it could actually affect you. You could be sued. So that's one of the reasons why you need to get your license, your permit. It is to ensure that your business is supervised, the safety of the customers. Imagine you not having a license and you want to produce drugs to other consumers, people using it. What if something goes wrong? And then, of course, I already said that these regulations does not only protect business owners or entrepreneurs, it protects the consumer and customers itself. So you need to get your license, and some of the licenses that I'll be talking about are the NAFDAC. So I'll be going in details. The NAFDAC, which is the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, which is NAFDAC, approves, or the approval which permit an individual or entity to manufacture certain foods or drugs. So NAFDAC will give you approval, like NAFDAC approval will give you permit, like, to manufacture certain foods, drugs. If you notice that most people, when they are buying your product, just imagine this bottle water now, most people will be checking for your NAFDAC number. It is important. It gives you credibility. People will trust you if your product have a NAFDAC number. There's some products that are regulated by the NAFDAC. It is to protect public health. That's one of the effect of government. How long is the effect of government regulations to business management? So if you are not, if you don't have a NAFDAC number, how do you want people to trust you? How do you want to even make profit? How do you want to sell if you don't have these things? And then don't let us forget, most people, most agencies, most body just come and then you start hearing you're not doing the right thing, and you're trying to bribe people, trying to do this. Just do the right thing, and then I feel like you will even be relieved of some stress, peace of mind, and then you, of course, the main is making sales. People will trust you. Your product will actually sell, and most times the impact of not having this NAFDAC number is that your product could be seized. Like, your product could be seized by the government. Having a NAFDAC number is also important for the business owner because it gives you product credibility. So the third one on the list of the things that is required of you is the money lending license. People going into money lending, you can't just wake up one day and you claim, I want to do money lending, so yeah, come and start borrowing money. No. Like, in fact, you need to do the right thing. I would advise you to, it is because it is governed by the Money Lenders Act, and then the Money Lenders Law of various states granted to persons intending to go to the business of lending money. So one of the benefits why I would advise you, if you are going to money lending business, for you to get this license is because a money lender can exercise his rights in instituting an action in court to recover principal loan and accrued interest. So imagine you borrow someone money and the person is not paying and you are not licensed. How do you want to sue the person? Like, how do you want to recover the principal loan and then the interest that has accrued on the money, and even the default borrower? Like, how do you want to get it? So failure to acquire this license, this permit, is fatal as a person or entity, and you may not be able to recover the money borrowed from money borrowed by a defaulting borrower through judicial process, only if you want to start going to their houses. And that's not right. Let's just do things the way we planned it this 2023. I know it's hard, but let's just do that. Then I'll be talking, okay, so basically I'll be trying to list the stuffs, though they are not limited to these stuffs I said, they are more than this, but because of time I'll just be sticking to the ones I said. But I'll try to list them so you would know, in case you are just joining, you will know what I've said so far. Registration of business, meaning 28 days after commencement of business activity, you need to register. It is important. And then, so you can even, it's because of corporate personality, I said that earlier, so that you can sue and be sued. And you can sue in the company's name. Even if your company is owing, you won't be the one to make payments, to be the company, like, to be limited to the company. And then I spoke about taxes. Of course, you know, businesses are taxes are levied on business. You need to pay your tax. Some of them are levied by the federal government, by the state government, depending on. And then how will you get your tax identification number if you don't do the first one I mentioned earlier. So the third one is getting a permit and a license is important. Please, let's do this. If you are into food, chemical, water, things fall under the NAFDAC. And one of my advice is that if you are going to business, just maybe approach a legal practitioner or someone you are close with, so that they can put you through, like, for you to know the appropriate body you need to visit, like for your running of business, so that you can run it smoothly without any problem or anything. So these are the things you need to do. It is not limited to this. I will say it once again, it is not limited to this. And thank you, I'm grateful. I hope you'll be able to join us for our next session. And then if you've not watched the previous session, I would urge you and plead with you to watch our previous session, because most of the topics are actually intertwined. For you to understand this, though about in the first session, I'm just trying to elaborate in the second session. Thank you for joining us, and I hope I see you same time next week. Thank you.